Hey everyone, welcome to the Vibe Collective podcast. This is a movie review podcast where നമ്മൾ mainly Malayalam movies ആയിരിക്കും review ചെയ്യുന്നത്. My name is Arun. I'm here with Austin,
Hi guys.
and without further ado, we know why you're here. Let's talk about Empuraan. All right. So before we get into Empuraan, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Right, we are an up and coming podcast. ഞങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. So tell everybody, tell somebody, ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് പറ please. Okay, write to us vibecollectivepodcast@gmail.com. All right, so ആഡംബരങ്ങളും ചടങ്ങുകളും എല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞ സ്ഥിതിക്ക് let's get into it, and review will be full spoilers. So movie കണ്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ tough luck, it's all going to be spoilers from now. And we start off with the good, then we get to the bad, then we'll talk about our rating.
Arun, what do you think? What was nice about the movie? What's your opinion?
Oh, am I start?
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
you.
All right.
I
I
told
should
you. I
ready and
told
then
you that's what how we were supposed to do. Nee thodungum and then we would speak about it. Yeah.
fine. I should ready and then
Yeah. ഐശ്വര്യ കേട്ടു. ഞാൻ വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ രണ്ടുപേരുള്ളൂ. ആരാ ഐശ്വര്യ?
Anyway, so starting off with the pros from frame one. I remember like the first opening shot happened in the Mate Rakile adu, and I looked at the person sitting next to me, like not the random person, the person I went with. Like so, I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? Like in the sense, I was
You went
I
with
was just
Kannan, yeah?
shocked at what I was
You
watching.
went with Kannan, yeah?
Yeah, no, ഇല്ല കണ്ണൻ ഇപ്രാവശ്യം മറ്റേ ഒരു അടിക്ക്
Oh,
പോണായിരുന്നു അതുകൊണ്ട്
okay.
പിന്നെ മാത്രമല്ല ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഗ്യാങ് മൂവി വാർ മൂവി കാണുമ്പം യുനോ
Kannan
ഇവിടെ
PTSD
ഇപ്പൊ
വരും.
പറയണോന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. That's what I was going to
I
tell
know.
you. PTSD അവന് ആ ഒരു ട്രോമ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയില്ലേ മറ്റേ ഇറാഖ് വാറിൽ എന്താ സംഭവിച്ചതെന്ന്?
Oh, yeah. It was very bad. Kannan,
ഇവിടെ പറയണോ?
no, Kannan took a very bad hit in that. ഇപ്പൊ ഇടയ്ക്കല്ലേ ഉക്രൈനിന്റെ
Yeah.
കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞപ്പോ തന്നെ അവന് കഴിഞ്ഞ ആഴ്ച കൂടി ഞങ്ങൾ മീറ്റ് ചെയ്തു വെൻ വി മെറ്റ് ഫോർ കോഫി. അവൻ പറഞ്ഞ് തീരെ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല ഉക്രൈനിലും റഷ്യ ബിറ്റ്വീനിൽ അവൻ ഇത്ര ഒരു ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബട്ട് എനിവേ
No, because ഞാൻ കേട്ടെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാ ലുക്ക് അപ്പൊ രണ്ട് പാ- രണ്ട് പാർട്ടീസിനും അവനെ വേണമായിരുന്നു, റൈറ്റ്? ബട്ട് ദെൻ ഹി ഡിൻ തിങ്ക് അതൊരു ഇത്ര വലിയ പ്രശ്നമാവും, ബിക്കോസ് അക്കോർഡിംഗ് ടു ഹിം ഹീസ് ലൈക്ക് എന്റെ ആവശ്യം അവിടെ ഇല്ല,
ട്രൂ ട്രൂ
റൈറ്റ്?
യാ
അപ്പൊ അതാണ് അവൻ പോവാഞ്ഞത്. ബട്ട് ഐ തിങ്ക് ഹി റിഗ്രറ്റ്സ് ഇറ്റ്, ബിക്കോസ് ഇപ്പൊ എത്ര കൊല്ലമായിട്ട് ആ വാർ നടക്കുക.
യാ
പുള്ളിക്കാരൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ
ഐ
ലൈക്ക്
ഐ തിങ്ക് വി കൻ
പൂട്ടിനെയും
സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ഐ
സെലൻസ്കിയും
തിങ്ക് വി
വിളിച്ചു
കൻ സ്റ്റോപ്പ്
വരുത്തി.
സ്പീക്കിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് കണ്ണൻ. കണ്ണൻ ഡസന്റ് ലൈക്ക് ദിസ് എക്സ്പോഷർ, യു നോ ദിസ്. നിനക്ക് കണ്ണൻ അറിയാലോ.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, Embura.
Yeah.
So from the first frame, right? Like from the first frame, I'm like, this is a very like really good looking movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the cinematography, or like the way that whole scene, the opening scene was staged. I'm like, this does not look like, I cannot point to a single, like even when Indian movies do it, അതിന് ഒരു wannabe cheve, I know it's cheve the right
Yeah, right,
pronunciation.
right,
Like
right.
there's a
Chova,
taste,
chava,
right? Like
same thing.
yeah, cheve. Okay, yeah, where it feels like, oh, you tried.
Yeah.
Congrats, you
Yeah.
tried, right? Whereas this one felt like it wasn't a try, it was straight up like, I know what the fuck to do. Here is what it is, right? So
You could
it's
you could
just
straight up walk into a theater not knowing if it's Empuraan and just think like, oh, I'm not in the right theater. You
yeah,
could have
like
that
it's like,
if
wait,
you
I'm here
didn't
for
know
the Malu movie.
ഇതൊരു ഹോളിവുഡ് സിനിമ എന്ത് സിനിമ മല്ലു മൂവി ആണല്ലോ എന്ന് you could say that much easily.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
And
agree. Yeah, if because again, there's no Malayali cast in that scene. Like you said, it's just white people doing like, which actually looks like some
that's
Hollywood
another
movie,
thing I
right? So
loved. It's that the fact that they used proper white people, white dubbing, everything was white. And like, I mean, not just white, where it was necessary to show that ethnicity, they showed that right ethnicity. There was
it, it wasn't like Akire 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 where Saipamar English or somebody dubbed in the booth where, oh, this one was really tough.
we need to go to the അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത്. Yeah, but
That's a scene where he's with the passport. It's like, oh, this one, this the Indian robbery. This was really bad for me. Oh, that's and then the girl is like, oh, that's the one where you were the Swami. Oh yeah, I was the Swami. Goodbye, Mr. Swami. And then he throws the passport into the bonfire. Like for
goodbye,
some reason,
Sammy.
yeah, dude, for some reason, since childhood, Goodbye, Mr. Swami. Stuck in my
It's
head.
like it sounds like that the Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc? That it sounds somewhat like that.
Yeah,
The same
yeah,
guy
yeah.
dubbed it.
No,
He's
because
like, oh, Looney Tunes in dub ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞു ഇനി പോയി അക്കരെ അക്കരെ കാഴ്ചക്ക് ഡബ് ചെയ്യണം. നാലരയുടെ
Paul
dubbing.
Barberന്റെ dubbing. So, so yeah, but then idinathu where Michelle Allen, where the guy from Game of Thrones,
Boris Johnson.
Jerome Flynn.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, Boris Johnson. Oh,
Boris
the
Johnson.
official
Yeah, the
name,
official. I should call it official.
eh?
Nothing official about it.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So, അപ്പം ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എന്താ പറയാ actors ആയാലും where I was glad where it felt like oh, that's how they actually sound, because again with the Game of Thrones guy, like I know what he sounds like in the show, so he dubbed for
Hmm.
himself. Why wouldn't he? But that's the thing, right? We don't understand why in the past where they would get these white actors and dub them with, like, we know they're Indians who are dubbing for these roles. Anyway, that being said, that was like really well done. And also uh the, what do you say, the production quality, right? Like, it's not just the cinematography,
Yeah.
where when Prithviraj said paisa evada ചെലവാക്കിയെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റും, we could see here, like, this is one of those movies where I'm like, yeah, that's an expensive ass movie, right? നമുക്ക് കണ്ടാൽ തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവും, and like it feels like the money was well spent, rather than ഒരു song ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി നമ്മള് fucking Singapore പോയി,
Hmm.
like shit
Not
like
like
that,
that.
where this one felt like, yeah, it was, the funds were allocated wisely. I have some things about the foreign location.
Hmm.
We get to that in the bad,
Hmm.
but what did you think of the cinematography and all that?
Bro, the production, I have to say, it was top notch
Yeah,
from the start till the end of the movie. Other than bits and pieces, whichever were just shot in Kerala, felt a bit very, very Kerala. Probably that value you immediately lose when you see Kerala in frames. But apart from that, all the foreign locations that they used was something that, not it's not just about the locations, it's about how they shot the movies, what effort they took to reach each frame. And I think frame
yeah.
by frame you could see that there was detail given into everything that they did. There was no part where I can say, oh, Ivada, they did it half as Ivada product. I'm just saying the production part, the technical aspect of it. You could see the hard work that he put in, and say the anamorphic lens part that he said. I don't know to what extent you experience it in that kind of a theater. Was that the ratio that you worked on? You watched in?
So my theater, like the black bars was like very
Hmm.
minimal. Like it was like a wider screen, like a
Hmm.
stretched out
Hmm.
scene where this format made
Hmm.
sense, I
Hmm.
guess. But how big were your black
I
bars with
my
made in
black
Ontario?
bars were also, I think, at a minimal. It wasn't that high, but
Did you see? Did you see in like a Max അങ്ങനത്തെയുള്ള
Max. I
screen?
saw it in Max.
I think that's why I saw a screen similar to
Hmm.
that. But I feel like maybe if you go to a little more traditional
I think,
screens,
yeah, the
it
traditional
might
experience would
be.
have been better. A Max would fill the whole thing probably. But
Yeah, yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
that being said, but anyways, the effort that they took in using several different cameras, and Prithviraj apparently is not just the director. He knows, he's technically sound. What camera to use, where to use which camera. Atrium knowledge he has taken into this, and he's learned his craft so well. Every bit of the movie's production was good. Say the actors, the cast that they used, the technical team, the what do you say, vehicles, or the costume design. Uh, then what do you say, props that were used, like Vandigal explosion and all of that, or the helicopter. Oh my God, that helicopter scene where they surrounded that
Mohalal intro,
broken
right?
truck. Yeah, the Mohal's intro, bro, goosebumps. I expected that shot, but the way which helicopter he would come out of was something I was doubtful. I didn't know how he would come out.
Yeah.
I knew he would come from a helicopter, but which one? But and they use the proper chopper helicopter. There's no CJ, there's no graphics. Adonnalla. He's like, I'm going to spend the
So do
money.
you know one added bit? So the Apache helicopter,
Hmm.
right? That's the one like Mohalal gets
Hmm.
out of. So in that scene, there is three,
Hmm.
right? Like Moon and
Hmm.
Ondalo. So only one of them is real. The other one, they actually, it's like they created it.
Replicated
Like
it,
it's
but you
it's
don't
props.
see that difference.
Yeah,
You see,
I know. No, I
you
know.
feel like it's the same. Like they spend that
Yeah,
same effort or whatever to. I mean, the same helicopter was used. It looks like there were three real ones.
yeah.
So,
And I think that's the thing, right? Like, so the biggest compliment to this movie is like it looked like a
Convincing
premium
you. Yeah,
movie.
it convinced you.
Yeah,
Bro, another main thing that Prithviraj was able to convince you. I was talking about this movie. I saw this with my parents. Yeah, they were able to show a nexus. A guy who runs the world, in a sense, has come
yeah.
from Nedumbally. From
Yeah,
Keralathinte ഒരു ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ നിന്ന് one guy has come up to this rank where he runs
yeah,
a particular syndicate. And now, how do you convince people of this, that someone of this power can come? Because in general, you would see this in Hollywood or any other. They would come from, like, from, sorry, from US or somewhere. They would come, they would run the world, or they would come from some Israel.
like other joke aliens എപ്പോഴും എന്തിനാ അമേരിക്കയെ
Yeah,
പോകുന്നെ?
that kind of a
Like
thing.
that's the
I
joke,
think
right?
that same reverse, Prithviraj took that effort to prove it to you and to show you that, in a sense, he's shown us.
ഇവിടുന്നും
Yeah,
വരാം.
but there's more. I think you would see in part three, and how this and all came into fruition, and how he became Abraham Qureshi. Paksha, for now, he gave you a sense of that connectivity, and people say there was not him. Like, one of the major drawback people said was, he's not talking too much. He's not. There's not much dialogue. There's not much interaction.
Who's not talking too
മോഹൻലാൽ
much?
മോഹൻലാലിന്
Mohanlal?
അധികം
Okay.
screen presence ഇല്ല. Now you should understand, this guy is a big don. I'm not don, like, he runs a
Hmm.
syndicate. His duty is not to
Yeah.
talk a lot and do a lot of effort and show that he
Okay.
doesn't have to prove himself. Generally, if he has to prove himself, is where you talk a lot. But here he's like, he just needs his actions to be louder than words. And that's why I think he speaks less. Agreed, he did a bit of too much action. That would be a bit negative, I would say. I think the only part,
Yeah.
and the fight. I'll talk about the negatives in the
Hmm.
negative part. That Mundu
Yeah. Yeah.
fight that he did,
Uh,
not necessary. He has boys pinpoint with lasers and all. They were all around
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But I was praying that he would fight, and he did that. He exactly.
No, I mean you
Right?
kind of that's the fan service,
Yeah,
right? You can't have
yeah, we need
Mohanlal in
that.
Kerala and
We
not
don't need
Mundu
to do
Madakari.
realistic. We don't want him to have shot them down
Yeah,
and then just walked in and tell Priyadarshini, "Oh, ഞാൻ നിന്നെ രക്ഷിച്ചു." No, that fight proved it, that he is still got it. Like that.
he still got it. Yeah. And so what about like the performances, right?
Bro,
Like, but I thought some of the four actors were not that great, but like the main.
performance wise, I think the top performance in this whole movie, I think beyond everyone, was Manju Warrior as Priyadarshini. She
I'm not gonna disagree with
killed
you.
it.
I'm not gonna disagree
There
with
were
you.
scenes
Yeah.
that Alu Parnino, where when that Baiju was speaking about it, and it's like, the fourth quality that you should get is goosebumps, and she gave that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She delivered
The third,
in a,
right? Oh yeah. The third.
sorry,
Yeah. That's the third quality. That's what he said.
third or fourth.
മൂന്നാമത്തെ
First was
ഒന്നാമത്തെ.
what?
First
She
was
won't come in
in
a sleep car.
വേറെ
Aware
ലുക്കിലായിരിക്കും.
look. Second was the car that she comes in.
പിന്നെ yeah, yeah, yeah.
Third
പിന്നെ
is
മൂന്നാമത്തെ was like നീ അറിയും. Like that's the one he reveals at the end ഇങ്ങനെ
okay.
രോമാഞ്ചം
Okay.
കൊള്ളുന്നുണ്ട്.
Okay. So
Okay.
I think I missed that part. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it gave it. It delivered. പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ തന്നെ, she did that role so perfectly, and convinced you that she's someone who's for politics. Like, I think it's similar, but a much better version of what Tovino did when he did that speech in English, like that stutter speech.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Stutter speech
There is
when
a
he
lot
started
of
speaking properly. You
parallels with the first movie and this movie.
Yeah, but this was way stronger than what Tovino achieved. Like
I
Munda
agree. I
Madaki,
agree.
അതൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞേക്കാളും stronger,
Yeah.
but not memorable dialogues, but still a little more convincing, a little more prominent. And I think,
More
yeah,
aura here.
more aura. I think her aura was maxed out. So yeah, that's, I think, in terms of performance, that's the number one, the top one. The rest, everything was good. There's nothing
പക്ഷെ
I
ഇപ്പൊ
would
ഇത്
complain.
പറയുമ്പം now a lot of people will be like അപ്പൊ മോഹൻലാലിന്റെ ആക്ടിങ് കൊള്ളില്ലായിരുന്നു. Well, the truth is Mohanlal didn't have much to act ഇതിനകത്ത്.
Yeah,
He was there for aura.
he was there mainly for the aura, for the slow motions. Remember, I told you about the slow motions. That's going
അതെ
to be a little
അതെ
annoying
അതെ അതെ
when I
അതെ.
saw the trailer itself. I think
No,
you
yeah.
saw those slow motions, yeah? Real slow
No,
motions.
because that's I'll get to my negative pinne, but like
Okay.
I would have liked it maybe read with the person less, or
Yeah.
maybe 10% less.
Okay. So those are my goods. So now you tell me about you. Anything left for you to? Did you miss out to say any goods?
There. One more thing is, okay. we have to talk about this. Obviously, it's the controversy right now
Oh wait, no, the
where
good. Are
they
you
will
talking about
really
the
put.
good? Any more goods?
Yeah, it's part of the
Ah,
it's part of the
okay.
good where I'm talking about the balls they had ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സബ്ജക്ട് ബ്രീച്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ ബിക്കോസ് ദ ഹോൾ ലുക്ക് എല്ലാരും പറയും പാൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ സിനിമ എടുക്കണം
Mm,
എന്ന് റൈറ്റ് പാൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ സിനിമേന്റെ ഒരു മെയിൻ ക്വാളിറ്റി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ യു ആർ പ്ലീസിങ്
mm,
എവ്രിബഡി. Okay, and which is also why most of the pan indian എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞെടുത്ത സിനിമകൾ are not really like well
mm.
received movies critically. Commercially അവർ ഇതുണ്ടാക്കും, and that's why ഇപ്പൊ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ പുഷ്പ 2 ആണെങ്കിലും people didn't like KGF 2 as much as KGF 1. Salar faced the same
Mm.
issue, right? Where it's always like, oh,
It's
the
28
movie isn't
different
that great
states.
because
For everyone to accept it in a pan India sense is very difficult.
yes, because I think, like, you have to let your movie be pan
Mm.
Indian and not design it as pan
Yeah,
Indian,
true.
because then you kind of backstab the people who actually made your first movie successful.
Mm,
That even gave you the or you feeling that we can go pan
mm,
Indian,
mm.
because I think at the കുറച്ച് ഈ മൂവിയിൽ
Yeah,
ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു
yeah.
where like as much as I wanted to see, like, the Abraham Qureshi world and Nexus and all that.
Mm.
My favorite bits were when they came back to Kerala.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Like when they came back to Kerala, I was like, okay, now this feels like, oh, I'm watching a
A
Lucifer
Lucifer
sequel,
movie
right?
or a Malu
Now
movie.
maybe that's on me. Where I mean, Prithviraj just said like, oh, ഇതിപ്പം നിങ്ങൾ expect ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു sequel അല്ല.
Mm.
So maybe if they gave me so
It's
my
not the
okay,
sequel you
we'll go
wanted,
to the
it's the
road.
sequel you need.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sequel I need. I don't
I
know. We'll
would
get to
say
the
it's the
negative.
sequel
So
you
I
need.
want to.
It's the sequel you need because see,
Yeah,
you probably will. It'll all make sense from the third movie because here,
I agree.
yeah,
So
here
I'm
you're
leaving my
still in
verdict
the
kind of.
dark about what Mohanlal is or how he achieved the
Yeah,
status. We all expected. I'll tell
yeah.
you the biggest expectation that we did that this movie did not reach was letting
Mm,
you know how Mohanlal became Stephen Nedumali became Abram Qureshi. Everyone
yeah.
wanted this movie to tell that, and we got no answers. We just now know how big he is. അതല്ലാത്തൊരു
How much
answer
do you think is that on the makers for not telling us? Because
it is
they said
100%
this
his
would
decision
be.
because he wants you to watch now the third.
I don't know. I get watching the third, but why? Like why? Because during the promotion, ഇതിന്റെ എല്ലാം like build up all of us had the expectation of finding out എന്താണ് ഖുറേഷിന്റെ ബാക്ക് സ്റ്റോറി, prequel sequel mix ആണ് അങ്ങനത്തെ
Yeah.
കാര്യങ്ങൾ, right? But even when like ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു പ്രീക്വലിന്റെ പോർഷനിൽ അവ നാട്ടിലെ സീൻ കാണിച്ചില്ലേ,
Uh,
where it's kind of like a parallel to മോഹൻലാൽസ് entrance in Lucifer,
yeah. Yeah.
right? ആ ഒരു മ്യൂസിക് ഒക്കെ പോലെ ഇട്ടാണ് ആ സ്റ്റേജിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത്,
Yeah.
right? But then even that, okay, he came up as an MLA. They didn't go in depth into
Mm.
that, right? So I guess I wanted to know
That is
more,
why we are
and
not liking it.
the
Because in this movie,
yeah,
they were only trying to show the parts where how big he is.
how big the
Yeah, how
mm,
wide his reach is, and who are the people who are scared of him, who fears him. This is all they're trying to
yeah,
show in this movie. They probably did not. They wanted his this thing to have be more richer. His stories
yeah,
have to be more convincing and more wilder. Now you know how big he is. Now when you
yeah,
see how he got to where he is, you will probably believe it. I think that's what he wants. That's how what Prithviraj wants to say his story. Appa, you can't say like, no, I want to know this. No, this is his thing. Him and Murali Gopi has made this. See it the way that they have, and the only reason no one's able to pinpoint this. No one is able to say this is why they didn't like the movie. The main reason, and I understand that you didn't like the movie because that's why I also went and I didn't get that. I don't know what journey he took to be where he is. We
and
had
which
no
I think is
answer.
what
We
they're
had no answer
exploiting
for
in
that
the
in the
third.
first part. We have no answer for that in the second part. Two movies have gone over, and we still don't know how Mohanlal did this. You understand? And that
Yeah,
annoys people.
yeah, how he went to the
Yeah,
top.
we are people of instant gratification. We have been going through
Mm.
two movies to get this, and still not two movies and what 7 hours combined. Probably this was a 3.5 hour
And
movie.
7 years.
Yeah, and 7 years, 7 hours, and still no answer of how he became what he became. This has to annoy a lot of
Yeah.
people. So and that's the main thing that that's the main thing that that is people have been put
Oh,
off in this whole thing.
so before I forget, this is where I was heading with my original point, where they got. I mean, we have to talk about the
Mm,
controversy, right? Because we saw the unedited
mm,
version,
mm, mm.
right? So, like, we don't have to like talk about anything else more other than that happened. And I do think it takes this was I was heading. I got drifted away from my original point, where like balls വേണം അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു 20 minutes open ചെയ്യാൻ your big pan Indian movie. Like ഇതാണ് മലയാളത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ മൂവി,
Yeah.
റൈറ്റ്? ആൻഡ് അതിന്റെ ഫസ്റ്റ് 20 minutes തന്നെ to really go at the the ruling party of India. Like that is something you basically said ഇതാണ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയേണ്ടത്, fuck you, right? And whether you agree with that or disagree with that, you have to respect their balls, because 99% of people would play it safe and not do that,
Mm.
especially for their big like dream project, something like this of this scale for an industry this small. So, like, that's what I said. Like, however you feel about it, that's up to you, right? എല്ലാവർക്കും അവരുടേതായ justification and politics on that. We're not here to talk about that. This is like a vibe podcast. We're just chilling, right? What my pro is that I think you need to have balls to basically go against the grain and say something like that through your movie, which they did. And so that's a pro for me. Like, that's like a that big balls. So that's a pro for me. And L3 hype. So let's just end there. Where do you stand on the hype? Are you
Ooh,
like
I am very
are
the
you this
Shentrite, the villain. Obviously, he has the demeanor around him where I am worried about how he's going to do everything and how. And even Mohanlal had that fear on his face for a second when that helicopter was going to
brother
go down.
for a
Yeah,
brother?
brother's
And
going
he
to,
looked at
and also there was a
and he
fear
looks.
and there was a samadhanam also because he immediately looked at
I
Prithviraj
know.
like, oh, something's going to happen to Prithviraj. And then Tovino's helicopter went down. He's like, oh, ഇതോ ഭാഗ്യം മണ്ട വിശ്വസിച്ചു ഈ ബ്രദറിനെ ഇട്ടെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് കരഞ്ഞേനെ.
No, it's like മറ്റേ പഞ്ചാബി ഹൗസിലെ പാവം
പൊട്ടനും
അയാളെ
പോയി
കടലിന്റെ നടുക്ക്
പൊട്ടനും
നിന്നൊക്കെ.
പോയി മട്ടനും പോയി ഹൈലസ.
He's just happy now. ഇനി പ്രിയദർശിനിക്ക് മന്ത്രിയാവാം,
Yeah,
എല്ലാം
everything
എളുപ്പമല്ലോ.
is sorted. It became so easy. It got, yeah, and he should probably
Yeah.
thank the this guy, the Shentrian guy. But again, I like,
Rikyun, yeah,
huh?
Rikyun,
But I
that's
want
his
to know
name,
what his
right?
name was in the this thing because I
I don't
stick
think
to
they mention
characters.
it.
Remember, I don't say the real names.
Oh, oh, sorry,
Yeah,
അത്രക്കാരനൊന്നും
yeah.
അറിഞ്ഞില്ല.
But
So,
anyway, I don't know his name,
അല്ല,
so
but I don't think they mention
they
his name.
did
I could be wrong. I
mention
don't think they
something.
mention
They
his name.
called him. I forget. They call him something.
I just know Shentriad and like I don't know. Okay, anyway, so are you hyped now more for L3 than you were L2 at the end of Embera? Sorry, end of Lucifer. Like what I'm trying to ask is, okay, let's
I
say if
understand.
I
I
mean,
understand. I clearly got your point, but I'm just trying to see where my hype
yeah.
was for.
You're like എനിക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് അറിയാം, നീ
Yeah.
ഇങ്ങനെ മലയാളത്തില് പറഞ്ഞു
മലയാളത്തില്
തരേണ്ട
തർജ്ജമ ചെയ്ത്
ആവശ്യമില്ല.
എന്നെ പഠിപ്പിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഓക്കെ, എന്റെ വിജ്ഞാനം ഇച്ചിരി കൂടുതലാണ് ഈ മലയാള ഭാഷയിൽ.
സോറി, അറിയില്ല.
ആരും പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ? No. So yeah, I was just trying to see how hyped I was for L2. But I think until they said they were going to start production of L2, I didn't care about L2.
Hmm.
Okay, I was not
Hmm.
that hooked on to what's gonna happen. Karnam, there wasn't a
Yeah.
big cliffhanger, if you remember, for
Yeah, it was
L1.
more like,
You
hey,
wanted to
this
know
guy
what,
is this
yeah,
too.
you just wanted to know what L2, like what who Mohanlal was, but itroru this thing they didn't give how massive this dude was. But L2 has left me with the need for L3 because they've shown L3 ൽ ഇതൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും വരാൻ പോണെന്ന് കാണിച്ചു. Now I'm more excited. My
This
anticipation
is
for
a
L3
full
is
origin
higher.
story.
I mean, I'm more keen on watching that than I was for L2. L2,
Okay.
once production started, obviously everyone generally has that thing. Oh, what's gonna happen? You wait for that. But at the end of L1,
But I think your point
I
is
didn't
it
care.
wasn't that obvious at the end of L1 that
L1,
we will have
yeah, but
L2, right?
L2, it's very obvious that's gonna happen, and they've been talking about it now. I'm very excited to see what they're going to show. And like I said, L3 is probably where they're going to show what Mohanlal is and how he became what he is. Upon now, I'm more excited. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's my final good in this. And also
Oh,
one
one
more.
more good I'll add.
I have one
Okay,
more.
go
What
ahead.
did you? What, yeah, you say?
Yeah.
You can cut that
Maybe,
part.
it's the same thing. It's no. That's fine. My final good is the movie was 3 hours and I wasn't bored for a second.
I wouldn't say that. The slow
Oh,
motion
okay,
took
fine.
at least
So
another 20 minutes.
no, I mean that's fair
They could have
criticism, but then
reduced the,
my issue is like,
20 minutes they could have cut us down and let me out of the theater
but
without
were
slow
you
motion.
ever like ഇതെപ്പോഴാ തീരുന്നേ?
Not ഇതൊന്ന് നിർത്തിക്കൂടെ, I thought.
Ah, oh, the slow motion
Yeah.
but movie
No,
കാര്യത്തിൽ
never.
overall
Not a
as a
frame.
movie
Not
did
a
you feel
frame.
like
Not nothing out of it. I would say you could cut this out and tell me, and I wouldn't be excited to watch.
yeah. So okay, so that's what were you saying then? അപ്പൊ
The
different ആയിരിക്കും
biggest
നിന്റെ
part,
കിട്ടുന്ന.
Deepak Dev's music,
Mm.
insane. We didn't talk about his
Oh,
background.
that's your good?
Yeah. Oh, is it your bad?
That's why we didn't talk about it.
Oh, it's your bad. I like
Okay, go
I
ahead. You
like
പറ.
the
I'll
music.
listen to it.
I felt it was well placed in certain points,
Okay.
and I think it gave enough hype in the places that were necessary. And there was no full on music. Yeah? There was no feature songs.
There was
Just the Emburane, the
three
song.
songs if I'm not wrong.
But in the movie,
Empuraan song.
within the movie, was there
In the
something?
movie there is a Sancharame, there is a song there. അതിന്റെ നടുക്ക് ഒരു മണിക്കൂർ എന്തോ ആവുമ്പത്തേക്ക്.
I fail to remember what that song was or what it showed.
Okay, I know. I remember because
Okay,
okay,
probably
go ahead.
that's why I don't. Oh yeah, wait, I know what happened in that. When the song started, I went out for a phone call, and I came back in after.
Ah,
So I think that's why. So I think my main highlight would be the BGM of it, where those BGMs were rightly placed, and that's why I like what Deepak Dev did. But I think the song, I don't know.
oh yeah, no, there was also the other song, right?
The
മറ്റേ
Emburane,
ഫിർസിന്ദ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ song
the main
ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു.
Emperor and
No,
the
no,
girl
എമ്പുരാനെ
singing.
അല്ല.
Then
No, that's the opening
yeah.
credits. Then there is the final അവര് ക്ലൈമാക്സിലുള്ള ഒരു പാട്ടില്ലേ അവര് ഫൈറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോ ഫിർസിന്ദ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള
Oh
പാട്ട്.
yeah, okay. That was also bad.
That was an actual song they released before
Okay,
release.
that
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't really
And then
great.
there's
Okay,
Sancharama song.
again,
Okay, now come to the negative. ഇങ്ങ് വാ മോനെ,
oh,
വാ.
okay. Tell me about the negatives then. What is it that you have
Okay,
been waiting to talk about? Let's talk about the 30 acres
okay.
of negatives.
Negative. Yes, my main negative. Okay, let's start at the top. Is that this movie not enough Mohanlal?
Hmm.
Okay. Now, I completely understand like Prithviraj made this justification where Lucifer he was limited. Yeah, this is true. Lucifer he was
Hmm.
limited and we didn't feel
Hmm.
that. That is also
Hmm.
true. And so what he said is he Dark Knight trilogy
Yeah, yeah.
Nolan
അതിന്റെ ഒരു
he
ഇതാണ് criticism of
yeah
it.
ഇതനാണ് where it's all about Batman but Batman's not there on the screen always,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That's fine. I don't have an issue with our filmmaking strategy use
Hmm.
ചെയ്തത്, and that worked perfectly in Lucifer.
Hmm.
It absolutely did not work here
Yeah.
for me
Hmm.
because എന്താണെന്നറിയോ ഈ ഡാർക്ക് നൈറ്റ് ട്രിലജിയിലും ലൂസിഫറിലും കോമൺ ആയിട്ടൊരു കാര്യമുണ്ട് why this works very well. Villains are interesting.
Ah, yeah. True. True.
We forget how much Vivek Oberoi carried
Oh,
Lucifer.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. True.
Okay?
Very true.
Like we did not have someone അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരാൾ ഈ
Yeah.
സിനിമയിൽ.
Bajrangi
And
wasn't
this
like
is
that.
the
Or no villain.
no because see at that point we didn't know Stephen Nadubali was
Hmm.
Qureshi,
Hmm.
right? So Bobby was a strong enemy
Was the
ആയിരുന്നു.
biggest.
Like it
Hmm.
made sense. Okay, so it's like, oh, this guy he has like connections all over the world,
Hmm.
like big guy. He works with drug cartels. Oh, Stephen Nadubali is also powerful. It
But
matched,
in
right?
yeah, okay.
Now that we know he's this like global
Larger than
nexus,
life
like
kind of a
the drug
villain.
syndicate.
Hmm.
Yeah, so your villain, so ഇതിനകത്ത് മറ്റേ Kabuga African drug cartel കാണിക്കും, he vanishes them like
Yeah.
this. Okay, then so that was supposed to be the big like mano imano like നിന്റെ ലെവലിലുള്ള ആളെന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഒരു വില്ലൻ വന്നപ്പം he vanished like this. So he vanished like that. പിന്നെ ഈ മറ്റേ ASM or whatever party that was Bajrangi എന്താണ്? Like, are you ever like worried about Bajrangi?
A
So
very
now
Indian,
this is actually
local, normal
yeah,
villain. Yeah.
yeah, where like ഒരു ഫോൺ കോൾ വിളിക്കണ്ട മിസ് കോൾ അടിച്ചാൽ മതി, like ഫോൺ കോൾ
Yeah.
പോലും വേണ്ട, like ഇതിൽ ഭസ്മമാവും. Okay, so now this is another plot hole where people were talking about how if this is so easy, why did Qureshi wait ഇത്രയും നാള്
Mm,
റിവെഞ്ച് എടുക്കാൻ,
mm,
right?
mm.
So അതില് so I don't think that's a
He
plot
gave
hole
a
because first of all
justification
ഈ
for
മൂവി
that.
തന്നെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, മൂവി തന്നെ പറയുന്നില്ലേ where he says like you have to understand Yala, if what, like, Qureshi is like this world renowned under FBI's watch, anganate big shot ana.
Mm,
He saved Said Masood,
yeah.
right, from the trafficking or like jihadi group or whatever, right? So he saved him. So he, like, Masood already owes him.
Mm,
He can't be like, ഞാൻ നിന്നെ save ചെയ്തു ഇനി നിനക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രതികാരം. No, you're just a low level like rando I saved.
mm,
Like, I don't have to do this for
mm.
you. And that's why ആ മൂവിന്റെ എൻഡില് ആ ഒരു സീനില് where he says, I told you, whenever your problem and my problem aligns, I'll be there for you.
That's not how he said it.
And it happened to have, yeah.
He said,
Huh? എന്റെ
when yeah,
പ്രതികാരം
when you're no,
നിന്റേതാവുമ്പോഴോ
not എന്റെ പ്രതികാരം, നിന്റെ പ്രതികാരം നിന്റെ മാത്രമല്ലാത്ത മാറുന്ന ഒരു ദിവസം, when it's no longer only yours. He didn't say it's also his. He said, as the day he becomes a problem, that it's just not yours. That day, I will let you have your revenge. Like, I think up until that point he said it. ഞാൻ ആലോചിക്കായിരുന്നു, എന്തിനാണ് ഈ പാവം മസൂദിന് ഇത്രയും കാലം വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യിപ്പിച്ചത്? He had every resource available, and that's how badly they showed in the first 20 minutes how badly that this family was brutally killed. Now seeing, and then you're like, ഇത്രയും വർഷം പാവം പൃഥ്വിരാജ് ജീവിച്ചു, did everything for Mohanlal, and all he got in the end of it was wait for your revenge. He's the top mercenary that in that industry, and
ബൈജാൻ
yeah.
മറ്റേ ആ ഒരു കാര്യം എനിക്ക് അപ്പാച്ചിയിൽ ചെന്ന് ഇറങ്ങാൻ സമയമായി.
Yeah, him waiting for his revenge was the thing, but he gave a good answer as to why. He just wanted it to be not just Prithviraj's problem, and then he would let that revenge happen. So yeah,
No, it made sense to me
yeah,
though. Like, of course, like if Ebram Qureshi is who we think he is, like ഇത്രയും വലിയ ഒരു ആളാണെങ്കിൽ, he's controlling Illuminati, whatever, like, deep state bullshit, right? He's now going to be like, Masood, നിനക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ അങ്ങോട്ട് വരാം നാട്ടിലേക്ക്. Like, no, he's going to be like, whenever it becomes my problem, നിന്റെ ഇവിടെ ആണെങ്കിൽ okay. അല്ലാതെ,
yeah,
stay as my bodyguard.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's even only
I
that
saved,
level of
no,
respect.
I saved you. Yeah, because I saved you once. Do you want me to save you again? No.
Keep walking around doing your errands. No, you're my errand boy. Meaning, like, you work for me,
Yeah.
not I work for you.
Other.
Mm.
Absolutely. No, so I had no issue with that. I liked how also in that tail end where when he gives Tovino an option, we don't see Tovino go like, Cheta, sorry, like, ഞാൻ ഈ ചേട്ടനൊപ്പം. He basically didn't say anything because that's what a normal villain would do.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd be like, okay, whatever, fuck you, I'll decide
Yeah,
later.
I'll figure it out when I have that. And Mohanlal was also
Yeah, I'm not
confused.
gonna apologize.
Mohanlal was
Yeah.
also like, നീ പോവാണോ?
Eh?
നമുക്ക് ഇതിനകത്ത് ഒന്ന് സംസാരിച്ചിട്ട് നിൽക്കണ്ടേ? ഹെലികോപ്റ്റർ ഒക്കെ എടുത്ത്
അതെ.
പോകണല്ലോ നീ.
അപ്പൊ
ഞാനൊരു ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ചു, നീ കേട്ടില്ലേ? അങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു മോഹൻലാൽ had that face, you saw? And then when the helicopter went on, he's like, അഹങ്കാരം കളിച്ച് പോയപ്പോ എന്തായി?
അതെ. ഇനി ഷാർക്സ് തിന്നോളും തന്നെ.
Sleep with the fishes.
So അതെ. So I like that. But where was my pros? Yeah, so the villains I already spoke about. So that's why I think we needed more Mohanlal, because maybe, like, I don't know the exact runtime, how long he was there. Even if it was exactly the same as Lucifer, it felt way more like lesser screen time even,
But
right?
I
When
truly
he,
agree with what you had said. That Bobby, I forgot
Hmm.
that fact. We didn't miss
Yeah,
Mohanlal because of what Bobby gave. What's his name?
yeah, Vivek
Vivek
Oberoi.
Oberoi did.
And also Vineet was dubbing that, so we got to give shout out to him.
Okay, wow.
Vineet, the actor, like, a lot goes into that
Yeah,
voice, right?
true.
Like, from voice, what if Bobby sounded like, like,
True.
we
Very
wouldn't
true.
give a fuck, right?
Right.
Yeah. So when Bobby says Todum,
Oh,
like, we
that
believe
was
Todum.
scary. Yeah, it's like അവൻ തൊട്ടിരിക്കും.
Yeah,
അവൻ
yeah,
പറഞ്ഞതാണ്.
yeah. Yeah, ബോബിനെ നിനക്ക് അറിയില്ല. So, but so ഇതില് the Bajrangi didn't work for me. The Kabuga didn't work for me. Like the Rick Yoon, the Shen Triad guy, he, like, his dialogue delivery, everything was nice, but അതിന്റെ, like, Rick Yoon is not this, like, he's not like Jet Li or
I
like,
mean, not yet.
someone even like a common person would
We
know.
haven't seen what fear he can put into our hearts yet. We have only heard dialogue.
I don't
No, I
have a
think
doubt
probably
about his
probably
performance,
that's
right?
why you're not convinced yet. You've not seen what he's can do, or what his tribe. We saw
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
that China can do other than that one helicopter missile.
Okay.
What
Yeah, yeah.
that
And immediately he killed the
Yeah,
brother.
that's the
Bajrangi
only,
couldn't do
yeah,
that.
anyone could have done that. അത് മാത്രം അവന്റെ ഒരു power display കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളൂ. So you're not still scared.
Hmm.
Everyone else, you saw what they could do. I
Oh
think,
no, no, I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about actor ne reveal
the way
right,
they really
where
did.
he's the next baddie.
Uh,
Where I don't have an issue with the performance. I think he'll be fine because I've seen a couple of Ricky performances. I don't have
no, I
I
didn't mean the
wouldn't get out in
performance
that.
also. I
My
meant
thing
in
is,
then I meant also the part where
impact കാണിച്ചപ്പം.
impact.
Did you have that
Yeah,
impact?
yeah.
Did you have that
No,
impact
you didn't. We
കാണിച്ചപ്പം?
didn't have that impact. That's why we don't worry about Shentrade
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, where എന്താ പറയാ, oh, what about the Pranav Mohanlal? I don't think we talked about that. Did you like
I
that?
didn't realize it was Pranav Mohanlal, by the way. I thought it was another like the CGI cheated on the face of him in a younger version. Later on, I found out
I
it
think
was
it's a mix
Pranav.
of both.
Yeah,
Like it's Pranav, but they kind
did
of
you
gave
feel
it a
it
little
wasn't
more
him?
like
Him?
no, like I knew it was Pranav, like because it made like it looked like
Hmm.
him, but they also made sure to have little. I'm guessing maybe little CGI
Yeah, there
young
was a
Mohanlal in there.
lot of CGI.
ഒരു
I felt.
ഫ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന
Yeah,
പോലെ
yeah,
തോന്നി, because they didn't show his face clearly. It was like a
yeah.
silhouette
A silhouette.
പോലത്തെ
Yeah, yeah.
ഇതായിരുന്നു. Yeah. And it's talking about silhouette again. This is I know we're talking about the bad, but good in a bit സംസാരിക്കുന്നതിൽ മിസ്സായി പോയതാ, where a lot of times if you notice ഈ സിനിമയില് Ebram Qureshi is never properly lit and
Yeah,
shown.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
always through
yeah.
shadows, or
He
even
comes
like
from
I mean it's very
out of
evident
focus or
മറ്റേ
something like that.
yeah, or മറ്റേ ആ ടൊവിനോ ആയിട്ട് ഇരുന്ന് സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു
Yeah,
സീൻ
yeah.
ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, ആ ഒരു
Even yeah,
സബ്മറീൻ
yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
അതിനകത്ത്,
yeah.
right, where I love the way that shot was lit, where it would just like what was it, I think it was like
Rig.
a
It
fan
was a
running
rig.
behind.
No, it was a rig
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the light at the background and low lit inside. So
yeah,
when he comes, you see it with the silhouette rather than the whole.
yeah, 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 it was they did the silhouette thing for the fight too, at the end, the Mundamadaki
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
right,
By the
the
way, if you
Vala,
remember,
yeah,
they revealed him also in a silhouette in that last Vivek Oberoi killing scene. Also, he came in a silhouette.
uh oh
There was a
really,
silhouette through which he came, and then that's how he was revealed.
okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
about that one, but so okay, so that's the one thing, bro. Like I felt like Mohanlal was like I'm like I didn't get enough Mohanlal from
Okay,
this
then
movie.
what else was your negative?
So that was like what about you? Did you feel like that was a miss? Like did you feel like I needed at least 10 more minutes of him?
Of Mohanlal, no, I think I had enough of Mohanlal. I think they could have had little more lesser because there was so much of slow motion. That last fight, so
Slow.
unnecessary of Mohanlal.
Oh, bro,
We didn't need Mohanlal to do
we
what he
need
did.
to talk
He,
about the
as I said,
last
you could have
fight,
cut
dude.
it
Oh
even
my
more.
god.
You could have cut it even more. I
Yeah.
wanted Mohanlal to just have stood there like this, and the minute someone would come at him, you get shot. Tuck, tuck. There are people with
Yeah, yeah.
snipers positioned in
But
proper
I
way.
think they didn't want to do that. I did think they didn't want to do that because it would be exactly like Lucifer 1 climax.
No, do it. Let Bajrangi be killed by hand. Okay, and
Yeah.
the show of Mohanlal's this thing we already saw it in that Munda Markia fight. Now we
Yeah.
don't need to be more convinced that he can do this in a leather jacket. We
Fair,
don't need that.
fair
Just
enough.
stay there and
Dude,
now
I
show
hate
your
it.
power. You cannot even think of coming close to me is what they have to show. You can dream about it. The guy can come running, the minute come tuck. All of them should be shot and
Yeah.
then leave only Bajrangi. Mohalal sits and just watches this fight. Nothing else. And that shows power more than everything else. You imagine one of the top. Imagine this. We know about, okay, whatever what we hear, Illuminati, there are people who runs the whole thing. They run the whole world. But what is their top feature? That they're silent and they are very, you don't
Yeah.
hear about them, you don't see them walk even, meaning they're in the shadows. Be
Yeah.
similar to that. Just stand away from everything, but have your full power ready. That's the main highlight
Yeah.
of this. Yeah, this is each ചെളിയിലും മണ്ണിലും കിടന്ന് അടിച്ച് unnecessary of Abram Qureshi to do this. He doesn't need that.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's why he built himself to this. His fighting days should be over. Not if
Oh, yeah.
okay, hit the main villain still. I would be okay.
No,
It is വാടക
the
കൊണ്ടുവന്ന്.
forest fight it can be like
Yeah.
Kerala vanna രണ്ടടി ഞാൻ കൊടുക്കും.
ഓക്കെ,
But
അത് ഞാൻ അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും, അത് ഞാൻ സമ്മതിക്കും.
അതെ
നാട്ടിൽ വന്ന് മുണ്ട്
അതെ.
മടക്കി ഫൈറ്റ് കണ്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്താ കാര്യം? ബട്ട് ഈ
അതെ.
ഖുറേഷിക്ക് ഇതന്നെ പണിയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ തല്ലാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഇവർക്ക് വേറെ ഈ ഡ്രഗ് ഒന്നും നടത്താൻ ലൈക് ഈ ഒരു ആംസ് അമ്യൂണിഷൻ ട്രേഡ് ഒന്നും നടത്താനില്ലേ? ഇതും ചെയ്ത് നടന്നാൽ മതി ആൾക്കാരെ തല്ലി തല്ലി തല്ലി. സോ യാ, ദാറ്റ്സ് സംതിങ് ഐ ഡിഡ്ന്റ് വാണ്ട്. സോ ഐ വാണ്ട് ലെസർ
ചൂടെടുക്കില്ലേ
മൊമെന്റ്സ് ഓഫ്
ആ
ഓൾ ദാറ്റ്.
ജാക്കറ്റിൽ അടിച്ച്?
ഏഹ്?
ആ ജാക്കറ്റിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ നടന്ന് അടിച്ചാ ചൂടെടുക്കില്ലേ?
Yeah,
അതും ആ
actually
മറ്റേ
this is North
നോർത്തില്.
India, one of the most humid
Yeah.
places. Yeah. So lesser time would be okay for me if you ask me.
Oh wow. Okay. So um, we already talked about the slow motion.
Mm.
Like the scene which I like really felt annoyed slow motion കാരണം
Mm.
ആ ബജ്രംഗിയും ടൊവിനോയും അലയൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സീനില്ലേ
Ah. Shake and
where
control.
he comes from the
Yeah,
helicopter.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, that could have been like at least 3 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Like it was like I felt like they were constantly showing even slow motion നടക്കുന്നു ഇവൻ കൈവക്കുന്നു മറ്റേത് ചെയ്യുന്നു മറിച്ചത് ചെയ്യുന്നു. I'm like, okay, we get it, they're aligned, whatever, like get to it. It just felt like and then they put the I didn't like the theme song for
Yeah.
Bajrangi. Do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do. I'm like, okay, shitty. Like
Okay,
it was
edited.
just yeah, I know. Oh, like, okay, whatever. But
Again,
we talked about the
like, this is
jacket.
from what I told you. When you asked me, you were never bored for a second in the movie. No, never. I told you, I
Mm.
got bored throughout. I just wanted to be more concise. There were no frames. Like they could have done all of this much quicker. Slow motion was my
You felt like
biggest
it
fear.
wasn't focused.
Sorry.
It wasn't focused. Is that what you thought?
No, it was more thrown out. It was more spread out. There was they
Yeah, no,
showed.
I know. That's what I meant. You wanted the story more like more
Yeah,
focused, like
reduce it.
like a
Why
little
do we need this
tighter.
3 hours? I'm telling you, you could have. I mean, 3.5 hours nearly. Yeah, this was. You could have so much more easily made it
Allala,
2 hours.
three. No, I think you with the previews for you. Our trailer ഒക്കെ
Yeah,
കാണില്ലേ 20 minutes or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, no, this is like the runtime is exact 3 hours.
exact 3 hours. I think they could have easily kept it two and a
Yeah,
half hours, without a doubt.
maybe. Yeah, I
Without
mean,
a doubt.
dude, that song you went to that song you went to take the phone mate
Yeah,
sanjarame or
yeah.
sanjari or
You could have
whatever.
cut the whole thing.
It absolutely, bro, it absolutely killed the flow for the movie.
Another thing that
Like personally.
that I think I felt already, and that's why I left the thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss anything if I leave. Let me leave and take this call.
വെറുതെ സിനിമ
Yeah,
വെറുക്കണ്ട.
yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Another thing, they showed that intro fight scene of that military fight scene yet another time. The whole thing. Very
Yes,
unnecessary.
I was hope. No, that's something they should have done on the editing table where I was thinking all they had to show was her going in and then the explosion falls on
Yeah,
her. We get
we
it,
get it. But they did
right?
that whole thing again. So
Yeah,
unnecessary those parts
where
were. That's what I'm saying. They
I mean,
easily
yeah.
half an hour they could have cut it down and people the verpical on the corner.
And I'll tell you something else. If a scene I think our scene doesn't exist or you non-pan Indian movie. I feel like that scene exists because Prithviraj is like, okay, we have to make sure we're not sure, like, okay, Mallu audience maybe അവരിത് ഓർത്ത് വെക്കുമായിരിക്കും,
Hmm.
but we don't know somebody in North is thinking about this. So let's show this
Oh,
again.
true. Okay.
Right? Because you're playing to the lowest common denominator. You're not
Oh,
paying
true.
play like if this is the reason Kishkindagandam is boring to a lot of people in the
Oh,
north.
true. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
So
that's why
I
he
get
had to
it.
do it. Okay. Okay. Maybe.
No,
I don't.
I get it, but I still didn't like
Nah,
it.
we
Like
didn't like
both
it.
can be
Yeah.
true.
I think that's what you said from the
Yeah.
beginning. Don't make movies for Pan India. Make it for us, and if it works for
Yeah.
Pan India, then it works. But don't do it for. Don't
Because
forget your roots. Yeah.
yeah, because bro, ഈ പറയുന്ന Pushpa wasn't designed as pan Indian first. At the hit they went for
Yeah.
pan Indian. And what happened to Pushpa 2? People fucking
Yeah. No
hated
one
it,
liked it. Yeah.
right? I mean, it made a lot of
Yeah.
money, but like yeah, so or ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ Bahubali was designed as 2, but they didn't expect Bahubali to like probably explode
Yeah.
അങ്ങനെ,
Yeah.
where every language was fucking with
Yeah.
it.
I agree.
Whereas so it's like I mean I understand like this is completely necessary for the industry. Like, look at the money it's making. It's already like it's day 5 and it's already crossed 200 crore by the
Mad.
way. Did you
No,
know
I
that?
didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, dude. This just over like so it's making
So they
money
made
like
their
more.
money.
I'm
180
not.
was the budget of this. Yeah.
Yeah, but they need to. I mean, that's what they're saying. But even then, they have to go 300 plus from just theater at
They have
least.
to go. No, they have to
Then they'll
go
have.
more than 180, because from what I've heard, they've not taken many of the talents have not taken remuneration. They are now
Yeah. So
depending on the
the
movie to make money and take share from the profits that they make. So like Mohanlal, Prithviraj,
but
all
that's
of
what I'm
these people
saying.
haven't taken remuneration.
So theater in the matram, it has to cross at least
I
300.
agree. I agree.
Plus, when you throw in
Purely
the
maintenance.
other
Yeah.
rights and all that shit, it'll be
Mm.
profitable.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think it will flop.
Oh,
It's
definitely
past
not.
that
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It's making money. That's fine. And like obviously the controversy helped too,
Yeah.
right? So that all that works. But my thing is, like, I understand, but this is just my end of a personal thing. If you make a movie for everybody, it's for
Mm.
nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Okay. So, and this is why like a lot of Malayalam, like my one word review about this movie is, as much as I like the movie, I was kind of disappointed.
Oh,
Where
I
it's
thought you
not a
would
bad
say
movie.
my one word would Kandirika. It's a nice movie. It was it.
No, no. Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously, it's a three. Like, it's a good
You said
movie. Okay, I'm
disappointing.
not going to
I
say this is
wouldn't
a
say
bad
it's
movie.
disappointing.
No, it's a disappointing for me,
Ah, okay.
right? Like, because ഇപ്പം നീ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്ത സിനിമ എടുക്കണമായിരുന്നു അങ്ങനല്ല,
Ah.
where because when you say Lucifer need a sequel and we are going big scale with this much budget with the same people making it,
Hmm.
I'm expecting our level of satisfaction from this movie,
True.
which I didn't get.
True. I
Okay.
agree.
So, I mean, you would, as much as you like the movie, you would agree Lucifer is the superior movie,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, അതായിരുന്നു പ്രശ്നം. So now, also music. I know you like music, so bro,
BGM wise, I wouldn't say music.
it's
BGM, I felt
yeah,
it was,
it
good.
started off nice.
Yeah.
It started off very nice when the whole Empuraan title track and all that's happened. People have issue with Mohanlal in the intro. It didn't bother me that much.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
it was okay. It wasn't like, no intro into music in a bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But by the end, or like especially a climax fight ഒക്കെ
I
വന്നപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക്
agree.
I was like,
Not that
this is not like I fuck with Deepak Dev has, like, some amazing bangers, but either it's Prithviraj telling him what to do or whatever. I'd really think if they got like Ravi Bansur mate Marco Cheda,
Oh, that would have been nice.
imagine that Marco
Yeah.
theme, that
Oh,
that Marco KGF guy doing theme for
would have
this
been
movie.
insane.
This would
They
go
should have
so
taken someone
yeah,
like that. It would have had that bloody
yeah, and
nature.
and if people argue and music value difference cinematic ഉണ്ടാക്കത്തില്ല, go watch Romancham. Okay.
Romancham.
Or like, yeah, or
Or
Avesham if
even
you remove
KGF for
Sushin
that
Sham
matter.
from it.
KGF's main
Yeah,
USP
yeah,
was its
yeah,
background music and the music in general. If not, that movie wasn't
yeah.
that great to watch. It's just a lot of cringe.
Music does a lot.
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
so we cannot undervalue that, especially in like a theater setting
Very
for a
true.
movie ഇങ്ങനത്തെ
Very
type.
true.
So, and that's why ആ പാട്ടില്ലേ മറ്റേ ഫിർസിന്ദ എന്നുള്ള
Mm,
പാട്ട്, റിലീസിന്റെ 2-3 ദിവസം മുമ്പ് I heard the song. I thought it was a fine song. I didn't hate it
mm,
at all. But when it was playing in the movie in that context, I absolutely fucking
mm,
hated it.
mm.
Okay, and okay, I'm gonna end the bad with this one point. Also outfits. I did please get somebody else to design Mohanlal's outfits.
Mohanlal's, yeah. Mm. They could have.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, I thought that Manju Warrier tricolor sari,
Uh-huh.
it didn't hit me. I thought that was cringe,
They could
Loki,
have done something
because
different. Yeah, not that. Not
because
the.
you know what I would have suggested. Like, again, we're nobody, so sitting back. "നീയൊക്കെ ആരാടാ? ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങളാ." I would have
No,
chosen
but there's a
maybe the
political.
color.
I feel here that was more of a political statement with that dressing.
The
Yeah,
Conqueror's, that was the
yeah.
Conqueror's outfit, right?
Not
No,
it
I
being.
get
Yeah.
that, but then our sari looked amateur.
Yeah,
Like,
the
imagine if it
cuts
was
were
like
not nice. The way it was designed, yeah,
yeah,
it looked like
yeah.
a very dirty person. Like not dirty. Like no one gave an effort
It
into
did look like
designing that
you.
sari. And of that Audi A6 വണ്ടി ഓടിച്ച Audi 8 വണ്ടി ഓടിച്ച് നടന്നിട്ട് ഒരു സാരിക്കുള്ള പൈസ തികഞ്ഞില്ലേ to get it done from a proper designer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it
The
felt like
fitting was
our
not
school
right.
uniform.
He looked very thin at some point here and there. Like yeah, I figured yeah.
And also even so that's just one scene with the Manju
And
Warrier sari. I'm talking
Mohanlal's
about
dress,
even
yeah,
Mohanlal, the jackets.
jacket.
Like,
Oh,
none of them looked nice with
yeah.
like unnecessary zippers on the side. Look, I also get why they went for it, because our unique identity കൊടുക്കണമല്ലോ
Yeah.
ഇത്രയും ഇതിനൊക്കെ,
Mm.
right? But if you just stuck to what he was wearing, maybe Lucifer
Hmm.
Dendela, that looked much more
It was
classy.
there, yeah.
This looked
A
much
black
more like
shirt, a
tacky,
black
bro.
shirt
അതായിരുന്നു
would
എൻ്റെ-
do. You don't need to dress your
Yeah,
villain up, or you don't need to make sure he's always walking
yeah,
super dressed. You
yeah.
can be,
Also,
yeah.
why did can I ask why they went to US just to have that one dialogue under the 9/11 memorial or whatever that place is? Do you know what I'm
I
talking about?
understood.
മറ്റേ ഗോവർദ്ധനെ
Staten
കാണാൻ
Island,
വേണ്ടി.
Lele. That's Staten Island, yeah. That's
എന്താ?
in Staten Island.
Was it Sand Island? I think it might be.
Yeah.
Is that where the
Yeah,
memorial thing
with
is?
Louis
Maybe.
Vuitton
ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞതാ.
ഷോള്
Okay.
പൊതിച്ച് നിന്ന് വർത്താനം പറഞ്ഞല്ലേ?
അത് തന്നെ, അത്
Yeah,
തന്നെ,
yeah.
അത് തന്നെ, അത് തന്നെ.
I
Yeah,
think there,
yeah,
I don't know what the reason was for them to do this. It's just that Prithviraj was like, "ഞങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ ചെയ്യാ." Maybe to show the reach of his, I run things
yeah,
everywhere. അത് കാണിക്കാനായിരിക്കണം. A
yeah. I can just
UK,
bring you into US.
a UK officer in US, probably to show the reach that he has
Okay.
everywhere. Maybe that.
Okay, last thing I want to add is that this is like just like Lucifer, e movies also, like just how Prithviraj designs his movies, or Murli Gubiraj's script, is that there are moments spread out, but it's not like എന്താ
It's
പറയാ,
not
you're not
consolidated.
building
Mm,
towards the
mm,
next. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not oversaturated. Like the moments matter. Like where എന്താ പറയാ, ഇപ്പം Lucifer when he says like, oh, നിന്റെ തന്തയല്ല എന്റെ
mm,
തന്ത,
mm,
or
mm,
like നിന്നെ രക്ഷിക്കാൻ
mm,
ആരുണ്ടടാ,
mm,
or like all that shit.
mm,
It works,
mm,
right? So because again it's not oversaturated, like you kind of wait for those moments, and then those moments pay
mm.
off. എമ്പുരാന്റെ പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ they follow the same blueprint, but every time a high moment happened, their instinct was Lucifer ഓർമ്മയില്ലേ,
Okay.
right?
Tony, yeah, there were
Where
parts.
what
There
is
was
the
recalls.
Empuraan moment
There
in
was
that?
recalls everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, where it felt like because the whole selling point of this movie, at least NEQ, was like, okay, we saw Lucifer, which was small scale.
Mm,
അത് നമ്മൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഗ്രാൻഡ് ആക്കുമ്പം what do we see, how much better can things get, what are you going to
mm,
elevate, right?
mm,
But then the elevated versions was just elevated callbacks from
mm,
Lucifer.
mm,
ഇപ്പൊ ഈ പറയുന്ന ആ മറ്റേ ഫോറസ്റ്റിലെ ഫൈറ്റ് ഐ ലൈക്ക് അപ് ടിൽ ദ ബിൽഡ് അപ്പ്.
mm,
ഐ
mm,
ഡിഡ് ലൈക്ക് ദ ഫൈറ്റ്,
mm,
സത്യം പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ.
mm,
Okay,
mm.
where I thought, and this is one more bad, this is my final bad, they need to get a different stunt supervisor. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
for
it
the
was
fight.
done again. We're not going to say bad. If you say bad,
You're
നമ്മൾ
not going to
അവരുടെ
say
പേര്
the names
പറയാറില്ല.
here.
I know the same person. I know the same person did Lucifer. It
Mm,
worked for Lucifer,
mm.
but it does not work for this movie.
Yeah, true.
Right? Because a lot of it kind of feels like Lucifer ഈ കണ്ട പോലെ
Mm,
അതുകൊണ്ട്.
mm.
പിന്നെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ മറ്റേ ആ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഫൈറ്റ് ഒക്കെ, റൈറ്റ്, വേർ അവർ രണ്ടുപേരും കൂടെ കാല് പൊക്കി ഇങ്ങനെ
Mm.
ചെയ്യുന്ന, that was another Lucifer
Yeah, it's
callback.
all the callbacks.
Where
Yeah,
yeah, where bro, like after a while you kind of, because this would have worked if this was Lucifer 3,
yeah, okay.
right?
Where you
Where
forgot
remember
what
Lucifer
Lucifer
1?
one was. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. ഇത് ഞങ്ങള് ലാസ്റ്റ് കണ്ട പടം
Yeah.
ഇതാണ്, അതിന്ന് തന്നെ വീണ്ടും എടുത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ ഇത് അത് ഓർമ്മയില്ലെന്ന് കാണിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
It feels like it feels kind of lazy, right? And they even use മറ്റേ കടവുള് പോലെ
Same
song
song. Yeah,
again.
I wanted them
uh,
to, but I'm like, I'm okay. They probably couldn't come up with
no
something good enough.
No, but and this is my point. ഇത് ഇവിടെ നിന്നല്ല, whole movie, right?
Mm.
Every time they throw back, right? Where I like ഇപ്പൊ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ മറ്റേ Manju Warrior had the parallel with the Tovino
Yeah.
scene, right?
Mm.
Where those are still more forgivable because like ഇങ്ങനെ
Mm.
സംഭവിച്ചു, but like what pissed me off is just straight up reminding you stuff from
Yeah,
Lucifer,
true. True,
right?
true.
Where it's like, man, like അപ്പൊ ഈ മൂവിക്ക് എന്താ ഉള്ളത്, like what is the signature moment from this movie if you think about it? It's not the climax
It's
fight.
Indrajit's Louis Vuitton shawl.
It's the
I think that's the only big
but
thing.
it's no, എല്ലായിടത്തും ഇപ്പം ബ്രോ, ഇപ്പൊ നീ എല്ലായിടത്തും നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ യുൽ സീ മറ്റേ ഫോറസ്റ്റിലെ ഫൈറ്റ് ആണ് എല്ലാവരും ഷെയർ
Yeah,
ചെയ്യുന്നത്,
yeah.
റൈറ്റ്? ലൈക്ക് മറ്റേ ജംഗിൾ
Other,
പൊളി എന്നൊക്കെ
yeah.
പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള സംഭവം. ഓക്കെ,
Mm.
ബട്ട് ഈവൻ അതും ലൈക്ക് ദിസ് വാട്ട് വി ജസ്റ്റ് സെഡ്, അതും ഇവര് ഒരുമാതിരി
ആ
റീമിക്സ്
മറ്റേ
ചെയ്തല്ലേ.
മറ്റേ അടി പോലെ തന്നെ വെയർഹൗസ് ഫൈറ്റ്.
ഗോഡൌൺ ഫൈറ്റ്
Yeah,
എടുത്ത് ഗോഡൌൺ ഫൈറ്റ്
yeah,
എടുത്ത് റീമിക്സ്
yeah.
ചെയ്തു,
True, same.
right? And that was my big issue, where it felt like any time the when you deliver the high, it felt like you just remixed the previous high,
Yeah.
where ഒരു fresh high കിട്ടിയില്ല.
പഴയ
And ഈ
പഴയ
പറഞ്ഞ
വീഞ്ഞ
പോലെ
പുതിയ കുപ്പി.
yeah, Yeah, where it's like, okay, I guess, like, I don't know, like, this is why I said I was disappointed, where I feel like the people who made this movie, like, they could, like, if they probably didn't have the pan Indian lens on,
Mhm.
they could have made with this money a way better movie.
True.
Because you know what's happening right now, വേറെ നാട്ടിലെ ആൾക്കാരല്ല പോയി കാണുന്നത്, മലയാളികൾ തന്നെയാണ് പോയി കണ്ട് ഇത്രയും രൂപ
Yeah,
റീസെന്റ് ഒക്കെ
definitely.
ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്.
And that, but they
Okay,
think it's
പിന്നെ
made for pan India, but I think they shouldn't have done it. Nee parne wale, they should have kept the focus on India. I mean Kerala, and Kerala would have brought
yeah,
it up, and then the pan India people would have seen it. Eventually, they would have requested, not requested, they
just
would have
like Kandara,
appreciated it
right?
in its own essence. Yeah.
Because നമ്മൾ നമ്മളായിട്ട് നിന്നാ മതി, അവരിങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നോളും,
Onnolum, yeah.
right? And we have so Malayali population internationally right now. Like, do you know this movie made 100 crore just overseas?
I heard, yeah, just overseas, yeah.
Yeah, so to do that, that means it's not like
And it's
a guy
not
from
North
like
Indians who went
Assam
and saw
watching
it
this
or
movie.
any other national. It's Mallus itself who went and saw it this time.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, maybe Prithviraj is watching this. My advice would be like, make the movie for us.
So
We are enough,
yeah, don't look
right?
outside.
Because
We are
ഈ
the
പറയുന്ന
highest now,
ഫിർസിന്റെ ഒക്കെ
and the
ഇട്ടിട്ട്,
rest will come.
yeah, because that's why none of this hit, right? Like, ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ,
Tweet
this
it
is
to
why when they
Prithviraj,
came
bro.
back to Kerala,
Tweet it to him.
at Prithvi official, please pan Indian ആക്കരുത്.
Yes, and subscribe to Vibe Collective.
Yeah, ഇതൊന്ന് ഷെയർ റീട്വീറ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ സന്തോഷമായിരിക്കും. But anyway, what else am I missing? Anything bad for you? What am I
This
missing?
was it. All of them were somewhat similar. My point was always make
Right?
it cut short. This was the biggest flaw that I felt. Other than that, I can accept whatever he made, and I hope I'm looking forward to L3. I think this was a setup for L3. This is what I look at it as.
And that is something even I'm very cautious about my, my reviewing, because we're നമ്മൾ ഇതിന്റെ like നടുക്കത്തെ പീസാണ്
Yeah,
കണ്ടത്, right?
yeah.
ആ ഒരു തേർഡ് പീസിലൂടെ വന്ന ഹോൾ
It'll
ഇത് ഒരു
make a lot
30
more
feet വ്യൂ
sense.
ഇത്
I feel.
നോക്കുമ്പോഴേ,
Yeah.
absolutely right. So because മറ്റേ വേറെ സിനിമകളെ പോലെ ഇവര് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഹിറ്റ് ആയപ്പോഴല്ല സെക്കൻഡും തേർഡും ഉണ്ടാക്കണമെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചു, right? The plan was a trilogy from the
Yeah,
beginning.
it was always like that.
So they should be, so we'll wait and see. And I know we sounded quite negative maybe at the end, but it's because we had expectations of this
It's only
movie, so
because of that. Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
why. Yeah, right? And we 100% would say go watch this in theaters,
Oh,
because
definitely.
absolutely.
Please go and watch this in theater. It is not going to be something that you regret. Watch it. Regardless of all the negatives that I said, it would probably account just for 5% of the negative in general. 95% I'm still for the movie.
And ഈ പറഞ്ഞൊന്നും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നെഗറ്റീവായി തോന്നുന്നൊന്നുമില്ല, and we always say that ഇതൊക്കെ
Yeah,
ഞങ്ങളുടെ
this is
ഒപ്പീനിയൻ
what
ആണ്,
we
it's like
felt
two
as
guys
what
sitting
we
in.
enjoy as moviegoers, what we've seen as movies. That's what's impacting us to give this kind of a review. But in general, maybe that's not how you look at these movies, and maybe these are things that you like. So definitely watch the movies.
Now, this is the part where we talk about our final thoughts about the movie, and we drop our ratings. Okay, so Austin, final thoughts and rating.
Four
Go.
on five. My final thoughts: make it shorter.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, make it shorter, make it more to the point, avoid all the slow motions. I think, yeah, get a better music director. Uh, uh, what else? What else? There were a lot of unnecessary cast. Like they didn't need Janvi, Sanya Ayyappan, and all was very unnecessary. Added nothing to the movie. Other than if you just wanted her fan following also to come watch the movie, those kind of things were required. A lot more could happen with. Sorry, a lot more they could have done with Suraj Venyaramood, which they just went directly comical with him. I didn't appreciate that. So use your cast
I
for the
do think he
value.
might be coming in third though. He
Maybe it's a
seems
setup,
unfinished.
but they made him very comical in the end, and I didn't like that because Suraj could deliver much more. And if he wants to now make him serious, it's not gonna happen. We are not gonna respect him. So use the cast more wisely. Spend money, but it should make sense in larger in a larger sense. Like you said, the American film site shooting, like the shooting in America location, unnecessary, but prove it to us it made sense. You didn't do it. London, you made sense. So that costume next time, like Arun said, costume focus on Mohanlal's dressing. Get someone else to design it for him. If you
Yeah.
can't tell us, we'll come and do it. Not like we dress good, but we know
Just
how it.
just
How
make
it
it part of this movie.
yeah, make us part of this movie somehow, please. ചെന്നൈയുടെ
അതെ.
ഡ്രസ്സിങ് ഞങ്ങൾ ചെന്നൈ ചെയ്യാം.
അതെ.
So yeah, those were my final thoughts. Now about you, what did you think? What was your final thoughts and what's your review?
My final thoughts is like I hope for like Lucifer like 3 like Prithviraj focuses on like we don't need to like I understand the pan Indian need because this is huge. You got to go larger, right? And he said this is going third movie is going to be even larger, but I don't want them to lose the secret sauce which is Kerala.
True.
Okay, and
Don't forget your
the
roots.
costumes
Yeah.
like the costumes like it doesn't like just get one word it wasn't classy like those like as someone who is like so filthy rich like it felt very very like
Like
discount shop
startup
outfits.
fashion dressing.
Sydney gifts like that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying it did look very tacky. Music, Deepak Dev is great for certain movies. I don't think this is the guy for this movie. So, like again, it was the only reason we even said his name is because obviously everyone knows who we're
Yeah.
talking about, and also he did half was
Yeah.
fine. Like it wasn't like a poor job all across the board, but I just feel like there needs to be a
True.
change. This didn't work. Okay, and what else am I missing? And better villains.
Yeah.
I think we can we should be fine with the
The
third because
third
I think
should be
Ricky
fine.
is a
Yeah.
little more intimidating. But I think better villains and if it's not better
More
villains, then
impactful
more
at least.
Mohanlal. You have to give
At least impact. Yeah.
you have to give
Yeah.
someone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. And that would make it a 3 out of 5 for me. Okay. Yeah, I know, dude. I so badly wanted this to be a
I
4.
agree.
Like you don't understand how much I wanted this to be a 4. And
Did
then
you
this is, I
understand
think,
what I said when I gave you my review about when you before you saw the movie? How you would go into the
yeah, yeah,
movie
hundred
and then
percent.
how you would come back from the movie not having got
Yeah,
everything, but you got something. Yeah.
no, no. I look. That's what I said. I 100% recommend this movie in theater. Like, എല്ലാരും theater പോയി തന്നെ കാണേണ്ട movie ആണിത്, right? It demands that kind of experience. But at the same time, like if you're someone who really like Lucifer, I don't see how you could come out and like this better. And so, what do you say? I know one person who actually really liked this movie, and my first question was like, "Did you see Lucifer?" She's like, "No."
Oh,
I'm like, "Makes sense."
okay.
So maybe this works better as a standalone, which is what kind of he said
The
too,
pan
right?
India.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But yes, highly recommend this movie. Go watch it in theater. And that is our Empuraan review for this week.
Yes.
Anything else to add?
Nothing. Just subscribe, share, comment, tell us what you think about this show. We really need to know what works, what doesn't work for from whatever you've seen. Watch our earlier episodes. They're all we've done what 8 episodes so far. We think we are doing a good job because of the growth that we're seeing in our channel, and but we do want constructive criticism or any criticism, even if it is negative in that sense, to help us make better content.
Absolutely. So you rely on us to bring you subpar, mediocre content talking about movies. We rely on you to just it's free, man. Just like and share and subscribe. You know the drill. Ending look at right?
Block
Okay.
restrictive report ചെയ്യലേ.
അതെ ആ മൂന്ന് വെച്ച് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching. That is our episode. And take care, guys.
Bye bye.
We don't acknowledge
No,
this.
which one? I have choices.
Second,
Hair
one
is a
second.
little weird, yeah. Do you think?
Illada.
No.
I think you're fine.
It's just generally how you
No,
are,
no, no.
yeah. ഇല്ലടാ ഇത് ഇങ്ങനെ
Yeah,
തന്നെയാണല്ലോ.
പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് വൃത്തിയിട്ടൊന്നും
പ്രത്യേകിച്ച്
തോന്നുന്നു.
ഇന്നൊരു വ്യത്യാസം
Hey.
ഇല്ലല്ലോ. Okay.
അതെ.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Steven Spielberg.
okay, so
അയ്യോ.
yeah.
ഫോൺ
No.
സൈലൻസിലാകട്ടെ, സോറി.
Before we start, you know what, Austin, you got something to say to the new audience? I'm sure everybody is dying to hear something from
Not
you.
the new audience, obviously. പഴയ ആൾക്കാർ കണ്ടിരുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ, they know we said we'll be consistent this time around. We'll put our videos out on Tuesdays, but
Yes.
it hasn't happened. Major delay on Arun's end, obviously.
ഈ കൂളിംഗ് ഗ്ലാസ് വാങ്ങിയ ഒരു സമയം എടുത്തു.
Yeah. അതാണ് അവൻ ഇത്ര cool ആയിട്ട് ഇരിക്കുന്നത്.
No, wait. I acknowledged it. No, I messed up. I forgot my own. And then you double down. അതാണ് അവൻ ഇത്ര cool ആയിട്ട്.
Yes, correct. ഞാനും acknowledge ചെയ്യുന്നു. We both were supposed to not acknowledge it. അപ്പൊ എന്റെ ക്ലാസ്സോ?
അങ്ങനെ നിന്റെ ക്ലാസ് മാത്രം acknowledge ചെയ്യണ്ട, എന്റെ acknowledge ചെയ്യണം. ഇതും കുറച്ച് സമയം എടുത്ത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കും. So, ഇതുപോലത്തെ bullshit ഇല്ലാത്ത tight reviews that respect your time, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button over here, and make sure you like it, comment, whatever you want to do, right? You want to hate on it, please do.
And if you want more reviews like this, that to the point, we can do like a 2-minute review, a 3-minute review, whatever works for us.
Yeah, ഞങ്ങളെ അറിയാവുന്നവരോട് എല്ലാവരും ഞങ്ങൾ പറയും 1 മിനിറ്റിൽ ഫിനിഷ് ചെയ്യണോ, ഞങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ട് പറ്റും.
Yeah.